Yeah. Moving forward here, so it's about that time, huh?
Yeah, I think are we gonna crown him?
I think so. We talked about him earlier in the episode. Go to Marshall, Minnesota, my local legend for the week, Trey Lance, Hall of Fame game here recently. And we went 13 to 20, two touchdowns, 120 yards passing, three carries for 8 yards. Shout out to Trey Lance, Marshall, Minnesota kid. Went to NDSU actually, not the Gophers like we would have wanted, but there's some logistics there that we're not going to get into on this episode. Some of the behind the scenes stuff I kind of heard about. But shout out Trey Lance, making a case for, making a roster out, making the Chargers roster and being QB2 there out in LA with Harbaugh and backing up Justin Herbert. Really impressive the other night, threw some really good balls from the highlights I've seen. Was getting get through his progressions well from what I'm hearing, and good showing by Mr. Lance.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how far he's fallen and like nobody really considers him all that much of a bust. The 49ers traded three first round picks to go up to number three to draft him, and he just didn't pan out and lost his job to a seventh round pick, like the last pick in the NFL draft, who just got paid a butt ton of money from the 49ers. And I think 49ers maybe would have preferred that to be Trey Lance, but I don't think they're too heartbroken about that. They got an asset back, traded him to the Cowboys, and he's just kind of bounced around. And hopefully he can make a comeback, make a revival. But here's my question. Did Carson Wentz have a better career than Trey Lance?
Ooh, that is a very good conversation. If we wanted the real answer, I think we'd have to get Randy Hedberg on here, to be completely honest. He was the QB coach at NDSU at the time. I mean, one of the nicest guys on the planet, by the way. I don't think he'd give us a straight answer, but you could probably get a feeling for that. Because NDSU had a line there where, streak there, where they had four very good quarterbacks, well, even five now with Cam Miller, that all made a name for themselves. Brock Jensen, Carson Wentz, Easton Stick, Trey Lance, now Cam Miller, obviously. But back to your question, was he better than Wentz?
At
You
the
know,
NFL level, at the NFL
oh, at
level.
the NFL level, I'm gonna give it to Wentz here, because that season he ended up tearing his ACL. He was playing like an MVP that season, and I will say it. And obviously, that season's kind of remembered for Nick Foles coming in and leading the charge and winning the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, I mean, he was playing at an MVP level at the time. And ever since he got hurt, I mean, he's just kind of bounced around the league. Trade's tough to tell as well. He got hurt his rookie year, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So, I mean, that injury affected him as well. So that could have changed the way he played as well, just like Wentz. No, that's a really good question. What do you think?
I would probably have to give it to Wentz. I think he not only has longevity, I think his peak was higher. His best season, that 2017 season, has been better than anything Trey Lance has put on. And yeah, he had a legitimate argument to win MVP that year before he tears his ACL. And then the Vikings run into Nick Foles in the NFC Championship game, and it got ugly from there for the Vikings. But then Nick Foles wins it, and Carson Wentz just kind of bounces around the league a little bit, never fully gets back to that form.
Which and that's not really unfortunate because we've seen that with a few guys now, like Teddy Bridgewater, for example. Going into his third season, I remember it was going to be the inaugural season at US Bank. The year before he had finished strong, seemed like he was turning the corner after the Vikings unfortunately lost the Seahawks in the wild card round that year next to Blair Walsh. And yeah, the Teddy Bridgewater, yeah, obviously, ended up having a horrific knee injury that year in fall camp.
Because I know they trade for Sam Bradford like the week before the season starts. So then they don't start him week one, let him get a little acclimated to the offense, and then he's the starter from there on out for the rest of the year.
Sounded like, that year Teddy Bridgewater was really turning the corner and going to be a legit starting quarterback. And he was just never the same after that. And he didn't really get a shot with the Vikings, unfortunately, either, because he missed that entire year. Then next year, a guy named Case Keenum comes in, sets the world on fire. And, the Vikings were just kind of, all right, we're moving on. And signing Kirko. And I guess the rest is history. Teddy's just been, he kind of bounced around. He just got signed by the Buccaneers here recently.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big what ifs of my lifetime is when it pertains to the Vikings is what happens if Teddy stays healthy that year. Because he had just gone 11-5 the year before. Really good, like maybe not like an elite quarterback, but he's going to take that year three step,
Uh-huh.
maybe take the step into the elite quarterback. And he just, one of the freakiest injuries of all time, like is
Uh-huh.
a non-contact drop back injury. And he doesn't come back till the next October.
Right. When you're the Vikings, you can't really put them in again that because you have Case Keenum, who's lighting the world on fire. One of the biggest what ifs.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe he doesn't lead us to a 2017 NFC Championship game. You never know.
Mhm.
But I would have also liked to have kept that 2017 first round pick that we had to give to the Eagles for Sam Bradford.
Mhm.
So our pick, we were pick 14. They took Derek Barnett. The next three picks, though, I think would have been interesting. Could have had either Malik Hooker, Marlon Humphreys, or Jonathan Allen. And I would like to know how either of them would have done for the Vikings in that 2017 year and beyond, because they'd probably still be on the team.
I would agree. Of course, there's Jabril Peppers, OJ Howard, David Njoku, who's an all-pro tight end. I mean, we weren't tight end needy at the time. And then you see a guy like TJ Watt taking at 30. Let's just say he's been pretty good, number 30 overall pick.
Yeah, for sure. Even Tre'Davious White would have been a really big asset for the Vikings
Mhm.
right now, but you never know who they would have taken and how many picks they could have saved drafting a guy like a Tre'Davious White or the next corners.
Mhm. I think it's about time we wrap it up here and we send you guys on your way. You ain't gonna go home, but you ain't gonna stay here.
Hey,
You think
Dalton,
what's up?
what happens if they're listening in their home right now?
Kudos to you then. You can stay right where you are. Maybe you're on the crapper, maybe you're in the car. I got a long car ride coming up next week. Maybe I'll tune in myself. But thank you guys for tuning in. Have a blessed week here and night and everything else that goes with it. Peace.